Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
M15 PCA.
And be sure to check us out on Twitter at C15 Podcast. And here we go, the episode review of Star Trek Discovery. The name was Vaulting Ambition, episode 12.
Oh, terrible name.
And they just have weird names. And overall, I don't know if I like this episode.
I'm conflicted.
I'm conflicted.
Some parts I really liked, and other parts I'm like,
there's a lot of stupid crap that's in here that's just weird. But start out the episode, we start out with the Terran runabout. We see it.
It looked amazing. It looked cool.
The ships look super cool.
Yeah.
I think I wrote down the Chiron. Was that the name of the big ship?
I think it was.
It's ginormous.
It looks like almost like a city ship.
It reminded me of Mass Effect because it had a huge energy ball in the middle.
Yeah, again, I don't like the fact they take other things. They should just be a Star Trek thing.
Yeah, that's a design I've never seen in Trek to my knowledge.
I mean, granted, it's the Terran Empire, but it's not Terran Empire in the future.
It's like a flying city.
Yeah,
it's so huge. The Enterprise is like a
it's kind of cool with the energy ball in the middle, but it doesn't fit.
I'm assuming that's its propulsion system of some kind. But we get to remember in the last episode they gave Suru that little thing about the Defiant. You have to decrypt this.
Yeah.
He ends up decrypting it, but it's all redacted.
Yeah.
So they only found out just an itty bitty tiny bit about what was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're like, oh, and then this is where the suspicions grew and grew and grew. A lot of you people, guys in the comments, you called this out, and we kind of talked about it a little bit. You guys are right. We'll see later on in the episode.
Yeah.
But we got Captain Lorca saying, "Oh, the files will have to be on that palace ship." And I was like, "How would he know that?
How would he know that?" And I remember,
what a huge guess!
I know. Crimson said, "Why would he know that?" And I'm thinking at this part, Burnham. I mean, that didn't even register.
Yeah,
I mean,
use your mind, Burnham. You're
supposed to be the smartest person ever.
So she also gives the captain a hypo that has like a numbing thing in it. So when he's in that torture chamber, it's not hurting him as much. And then I think it's a world record at 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Michael Burnham gets praise.
Yeah.
It is like, oh, it has to be you and everything. It's like, oh, here we go, right?
But it's so funny. You find out later on, there's a little bit more to that than the appraisal bit.
It's they always got to be validated. She had to get validated.
No matter what. That's always a Michael Burnham staple.
But now we get back to the Discovery, and Chili has started up the spore therapy
again
on Paul, our engineer.
Yeah.
And basically, he's in a coma. Yeah. So instead of him being dead, it's like an induced coma with the spore therapy. And Paul's in the spore world, I guess the Nexus, whatever they want to call it. And he's in there with Terran Paul, and then he's like talking to us, like, well, what's going on? Am I dead? Is this the afterlife, whatever? And then, of course, they got to slip in this little SJW stuff, just a little bit. He's like, yes, Paul, you're dead, and there is a God, and she's angry with you. Of course, they have to say God is a she. It's just, it's stupid, whatever.
Again, and then it turns out he's just kidding with them. But like, why'd you say she? That's just odd. It's just what it is.
It's funny because he goes, "Oh, I'm just kidding with you," and then it's like, "Oh, making fun of why would anyone believe in an afterlife?" Then he says, "Well, we're in a coma, so there could be an afterlife." So like, they put down religion, then put it back up again, and it's like, well, okay, what a weird.
But I guess coming from a Terran Empire officer, they probably don't believe in God.
Yeah,
that's how they are.
So weird. Religious joke, and then he's like, "Oh, we never been introduced. Oh, I'm Paul. How funny is that?" They shake hands, and then like in a snap of magic, they're on the Discovery.
Yeah.
But I guess the way he was, I want to call him evil Paul, but Terran Paul, he explains it to him like, "Oh, your mind's going to just create how you're going to understand it." And so you're more familiar on the Discovery, so that's where we're going to be. Then I remember I read this in one of the comments, and I was kind of like, the Q continuum works that way, where when you're into it, whatever your brain can understand, that's what it looks like.
I think this is like a lower understanding. Like maybe in some way this is how the Q travel, but like in a primitive way. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're just
spitballing that one.
Yeah,
but that would be interesting. Yeah. Kind of removed from everything because this series doesn't look like it fits a Q.
But I kind of agree a little bit with Crimson. That'd be too much. We got to kind of halt it here. You got the Terran Empire going. You don't need to add Q into it right now.
So Evil Paul is saying, "Oh, we both are engineers, and they both had the same jobs, and they're both studying the same thing." Yeah. And he got stuck doing the same exact thing. Like he was trying to, discover this road pathway through the universe, and he got basically in a coma. Yeah. I'm surprised he had no staff. So he's literally like in his room. Did no one check on him?
No, and it's also weird. And also what's weird about it too is like, if you think about it, that's another tell sign of the Q is that they consider highways.
Yeah.
They travel. Like, and it says we would think a road in the car, our level intelligence, but that's how it is. That's what they get from the whole universe.
And I guess this whole time when our universe Paul was getting visions, he was getting them from the Terran Paul. Like he was trying to show him the other world.
Yeah.
So when he was saying, "Oh, there's a palace," that was the giant ship.
Yeah.
Oh, the forest and all that stuff. He was giving him those visions.
Because he has selfish motives too, though. That's the thing.
And I guess that was like his way of trying to communicate.
Yeah.
But that communication was going across universes.
Yeah, it was.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So the implications of that are just nuts.
Yeah.
So they are on the Discovery. He's walking around. It's like, "Oh, I need to get to my lab." And then Evil Paul is, "Oh, there's like corruption here." Like he has like this nasty rash on his arm. And it's like, "Oh man, you go to see a doctor about that." But basically, it's consuming. Yeah, I know, right? You got a little sister. So he is basically getting consumed by the network.
Like if you stay too long.
And then it looks like red corruption.
Yeah.
And then you see like he's walking down the halls and it's starting to block certain ways, so they can't get into it. So I'm like, oh, it's kind of like it's gonna destroy them.
Yeah, it's funny. Crimson was mentioning it a little bit earlier. It's like this thing that happens in Destiny, but we don't remember the name of it. If you guys remember it, it's from
the Rise of Iron DLC. I totally forgot what those things were called.
I haven't played it in over a year,
but it was all red too. There's a corruption, so it's very similar.
Yeah.
So we find out, okay, so the network's getting it up. They're trying to figure a way to get out or wake up from their coma, and he gets to his lab and basically like, okay, time to get to work. So she gets back onto the on the ship, and then it's the whole scene where there's like, it's very Roman. Oh, yeah. We got Giorgio, I'm gonna just call her George from now on because Mike and George, that's just funny. But she gets announced and she has like 15 names. Very, very Roman.
I mean, it almost sounded Roman in the middle.
Yeah.
A pious, that kind of that language. Yeah, long time.
And then, they're giving the whole thing, and then she's like, "Oh, I brought you this traitor and all this blah, blah, blah." And then of course, Lorca gets put out there and he gets, smacked around and gets taken away.
Yeah, he says, I'll never kneel to you.
Yeah, so he gets the crap beat out of him a little bit. He gets dragged away. And then, is that where she also got to pick a new slave?
Yeah.
And it's Suru's people.
Yeah.
And then she picks the one on the left and whatever.
I thought it looked like Suru, was it? I don't know.
No, but Suru's already on the ship.
Oh, yeah.
Why would she pick him again?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it's funny, he totally saved her life in the last episode. She would have totally, or he would have killed her. He had her choked in the chokehold. And Giorgio, they're talking and everything. And then you start getting some clues about how their relationship is. And she's like, "Oh, I saw you as a daughter. Like, you were my daughter."
Because when she was like, "Oh, please don't let it be."
I'm like, "Oh my goodness, were they lovers?" Oh my goodness. Then because she's getting like touching your face and stuff, I'm like, "Oh my goodness." And then like, "Oh, daughter, whew, thank goodness." Like, I'd rather have that relationship because other relationships a little weird.
Yeah.
Back to Discovery. This episode jumps around a lot. So I'm trying to keep notes of my notes here
chronologically.
Yeah. So Lieutenant Tyler is freaking out in the med bay. He's like saying Klingon stuff, and he's like, they're trying to sedate him, but they can't.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really make any sense because he still has human biology.
Yeah, like it doesn't. Unless they're saying the Klingon will, I don't know.
Yeah, like
it's so strong. I mean, we'll go with it, I guess, but it doesn't make sense.
And then there was a moment where he stopped freaking out, and he's talking to Suru. Suru's down there because of the medical emergency, and he's acting captain. And he's like, "Is Michael okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, she's fine." And then for a moment, it looked like Lieutenant Tyler was back.
Yeah.
Then he starts freaking out again. So I'm wondering, first I thought, "Oh my goodness, he's tricking him."
Yeah, I was going to attack him or something.
Yeah, then it's like, I guess he really did come back. I'm hoping that's what really happened there. Then we get back to Captain Lorca is getting shocked around in the chamber after meeting with Giorgio. And then it's Giorgio and Mike are having like dinner together in her room, in her quarters. And they're eating a food, and then she's like, "Oh, here, try some of this." And it's freaking Suru's people. They eat them, too. Not only do they make them into slaves, they eat them.
Yeah, well, remember how disgusted we were when the Klingons did that to
her?
And the first was in the normal Prime universe? That's like, oh, you have all these resources and you're eating people?
Yeah, and you're eating a sentient being that can talk and everything.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Especially when there's no need to. This isn't a Donner Party situation.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then Michael eats it and you can tell she like wants to throw.
Yeah, but she's got to play the part.
I'm eating the race of one of my best friends. Yeah. And here I am, I'm going to eat his gangula or whatever.
Yeah, and you can tell she's bald, and afterwards she wants to drink and go, hope this isn't out of somebody. She's like, oh, gross.
Then, things are getting more tense because Michael doesn't know what this Michael did, the Terran Michael did. And, she's talking to her and everything, and I'm assuming that I guess she's like, oh, you and Lorca were conspiring against me this whole time. You were always lying to me, and I can never give you enough. And she pulls out a knife and like puts it to Michael's throat. So I'm like, oh, geez,
Yeah.
she's at the end of her rope. She can't fake her way out of this.
I know.
And
right?
she basically, says, I'm gonna execute you.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh dang, what's Mike gonna do? Like, how's she gonna get out of this situation?
Yeah, she can. I mean, this is the.
So I'm like. And that whole scene, I'm like, Michael was playing it too loose. Like, she started, like, not talking crap.
But questioning, oh, yeah, you're too cruel.
Yeah. Oh,
what are you doing?
You've grown too soft, Michael, and you've grown cruel. Why would you say that?
She has all the power. What are you doing? You got to be ruthless. You got to act mean.
She kind of, like, grow cruel. Wouldn't she always have been cruel?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
You're a leader of that empire. You're ruthless, okay?
So we get back to Paul, and he's in his lab with the other Paul, and they're mapping like how they entered in, and it's funny. I'm like, what's he actually doing?
Yeah.
Like, the computer for the Discovery isn't really there. So is he?
I'm saying part of his brain.
Yeah, he's accessing his own mind. Is that what's happening?
Has to be.
And then they're showing all different things, and they're trying to explain like, oh, where they entered in, and there's certain information that's missing. Mm-hmm. Then out of the corner of his eye, he sees like his husband, the doctor that was killed, kind of walk by, and he's like, was his name Hugh? I forget. I think that's what he called him.
Yeah.
Then he's like, oh, come back. And then the other Paul's like, oh, I didn't see anything. I'm thinking, oh, he's lying. He sounds like he's lying.
Gotta be this guy. He's a Terran Empire, Paul. You can't trust him.
So he goes to go chase after him. He's like, because that's like his husband. Oh, I want to see you. I want to talk to you. And then we cut back to Giorgio and Mike. And they're gonna execute her, and I'm like, "What is?" Because they're like in like I guess their execution chamber. There's like 7 other people there. They're like they all decided execution is what we're gonna do. And George is saying, "You know what? I'm gonna kill you fast, because I love you." Yeah. And then Michael goes, "Oh, you never loved me because I'm not the Michael Burnham, I'm like, "Oh, dang!" She's like played all her cards out.
I got to. What choice do I have?
She tells her everything about we're from another universe. We crossed over. We want to get back. We just want your help, and we'll leave, and we'll never hear from us again. And I'm thinking, why would she even help you?
I know, right? And then she gives her old badge from the Prime Universe.
Yeah, I guess there's a quantum flux or something.
You could tell, like every universe has a different one. Yeah. So you wouldn't be the.
So she scans it because they just have a badge scanner on where they're at.
I know, right?
It's just like there, right?
I mean, couldn't you at least go into another room and use it? I mean, come on, seriously.
Or like I know like a tricorder type thing to scan it. It literally was like a pillar that was just the size of the thing.
Oh, look, perfect.
I know, right? Like they were waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, the idea of multiple universes. That's quite the trivial idea. Then she pulls out this little like ninja star, throws it, and it kills everyone in the room but one guy.
It's kind of like if you've been watching Agent Shield this year. The one of the Kree have like these balls that can get in your head and just rip you apart and get in your stomach. It's kind of like that.
Or it's kind of like the glaive from Kroll.
Kroll, yeah.
But a tiny one.
She can control him like she can control them.
Yeah, like it went in a circle.
Kill everyone but one of them and burn him. That was it.
And she basically told him, oh, can you keep a secret? And he's like, oh, yes, Emperor. They call her Emperor, but I want to keep saying Empress because she's a woman.
That's fine. I mean, that's what she is.
I know. So if I say Empress, it's just because of
we're not doing it for any of the the way it is.
So then she basically kind of agrees with her, but I'm thinking, Mike, how do you expect any help from there?
Yeah, she's just gonna.
And then she basically, the whole thing like, oh, you love Burnham, Michael Burnham, and I'm kind of like her, so help me. I don't know if that's gonna work.
I didn't betray you, so
So we jump back to the Discovery, and the female Klingon and Suru, like he brings her some food, and then she's like, oh, you must want me for something. And then he's like, okay, Lieutenant Tyler is freaking out. He says he's Klingon. We need your help. And then she basically just confirms everything that we already know. Yeah. We took his body, chopped him up, and made him into the frame of this Lieutenant Tyler. Tyler was taken prisoner, so there really was a Lieutenant Tyler.
Yeah.
Took him prisoner from the Battle of the Binary Star, and then just somehow took his consciousness. Like, is that even a technology?
Here's the thing.
Kirk's time.
Kirk's time. What's so weird about that? What does she expect? Because her mission ultimately is to reunite the houses and take over the Klingon Empire. One, he looks human. Unless you're going to put him in another Klingon, they're never going to follow that. And two, like you told him, you're in another universe. You lost.
Yeah, and and she's like, you're lying to me. He's like, no, we're in a parallel universe. All your scheming, all your planning, Klingons are done. Yeah. Kronos is gone, and there's just scattered Klingons.
Yeah.
All about. And it's funny because I wonder what she would do if she met that Volk. Like, would she try to, like, connect with him, or
I don't know.
would he even know who she? Because apparently everyone knows everyone that you knew in the Mirror Universe for the most part. Like,
well, it also makes sense why Taylor freaked out when he saw Bulk. Like, wait a minute, you're me. You're talking. You sound like a wuss.
And then he's like, then Sue was like, you need to help him.
Yeah.
You know, if he's truly clean on you, whatever, don't you want to help?
She didn't know.
He's a soldier. He decided to do this in this war. And and she like turns her back on him. And I'm like, Sue's got something up his sleeve. But I even brought up the idea that he basically uses. Yeah. So then we cut back to Paul chasing after his husband, and he's like running around the Discovery, but it's in his mind Discovery. Yeah. And he's like, of course, what's all this flickering lights and kind of scary?
Yeah, I even said it too. I was doing the episode. Yeah, he's commenting on like, why is it so dark? Why is it so creepy? I don't like that.
It's something scary was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like he's standing, then a door opens up, and there's a water drip, and it's like, what's
this isn't Alien. This isn't Event Horizon. Do you know?
Yeah, I know, right?
Seriously, it's a little too much.
Then he walks into that room that opened up, and then the door shuts, and it goes, something bad going to happen?
Yeah.
And then, he looks over and he sees his husband brushing his teeth. And it's those memories of, like, all the times that they, because they were in a relationship. They cared about each other. And then he's basically telling him, and then he's like, hey, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And because he's like, well, how did you get here? Did you travel through things? Like, no, sorry, Paul, I'm dead. I really died. And I'm thinking, how does he know he's dead?
Yeah, no, I was
because I guess because they kind of explain it a little bit later, but this is a question I still have. His husband in his brain knew a lot of things that I don't think he should have known. Like it's just weird.
You can't tap it on the universe is there. I mean, how would he know this?
So again, we do so much jumping around. I wish I could just talk about stitch together those scenes.
Timeline, the different scenes are just so.
So we jump back to the palace, and Mike is talking to Giorgio, and she's like, well, I'm not going to help you. She's like, come on, you love Michael, come on. It's like, come on. She's kind of basically doing that. Right?
Come on, you got to help me out. Help out someone here.
And then she's like, and then you brought this up because she's like, well, if you even travel back the way the Defiant did, how come all your crew members didn't die? Because that's what happened to those people.
Yeah, well, that's what happened in the original Enterprise when the Defiant went back to that whole... They were all dead, so that explains why they died. See, they actually followed canon for once.
So is there a Discovery in the Prime Universe with the dead crew? Just floating around?
Unless they
does it happen both ways? So when the Terrans swap over to the Prime Universe, did they get that?
Well, I think it's funny when you say that, because when they came in Transport, it never happened, so maybe they're alive. Well, I see you have a Discovery full of dead people. Like, oh my goodness!
Yeah, weird uniforms, right?
The uniforms and the sword. What's going on here?
So Giorgio's like, oh, you didn't come that way. How did you come here? And then Michael spills the beans on the spore drive.
I was like, what is she doing?
And then she's like, oh, this spore drive, very interesting. How about this? You give me all the schematics for that spore drive, and then I'll give you the information you need.
And then Michael's like, how do I trust you? You're not just going to kill us.
And this is the dumbest thing ever. She's all... oh, the Giorgio in your world was an honorable woman, and then so am I. No, you're not. Like, what? That's so stupid.
She was my captain for 7 years. I was her first officer. She was an honorable person. You are not that.
It's so stupid. Like, you can't... why? I don't know.
At that point, I said, well, I have one question is, where's your telescope?
Yeah, can I get that telescope? The thing is, I understand she's at the end of her rope. She has no choice. But don't
she
even...
gave it away too easy.
Yeah, she just let it slip, and it's like... because if they get that...
they're going to be unstoppable. They're going to go to all the different universes.
So we jump back to Discovery again, and then the idea I had is like, you know what they should do? They should pipe in the video feed so she can see him suffering, because she's like, oh, it doesn't matter. But when you love someone, you can't watch them suffer. It's
even a Klingon's going to be,
So he basically walks in there, and he's like, oh, he broke loose of his restraints, and he basically has a little data pad saying this is what he did. Yeah. He's like literally ripping his own body apart.
Yeah,
and of course it's breaking her heart because she loves him.
Yeah.
And then she's like, fine, I'll help, but it has to be in my hands. And then Sue has to look at his face like, Sue doesn't
No, literally, remember, she still says no, and then they transport his body into her cell, and then she says, okay.
Yeah, but you see him suffering and dying in your arms.
You still have feelings. You're not going to let him yet.
Yeah, so Sue basically tricked her in a way.
But that was cool, though. I give Sue points for that.
Sue gets a +1 for today's episode. He gets a gold shiny star.
Yeah, he has a look at his face like, yeah, I got you. He didn't see it.
So we jump back to the palace, and we're with Captain Lorca now. He's in the tank, whatever, the agonizing chamber. And then one of the dudes we've seen, I don't think he has a name, but he's the black guy with the beard. Mm-hmm. He shows up, and he's like, oh, he hates Lorca, what you did to my sister and everything. And then Lorca's like, trying to play it off like, whatever, man, I just did what I had to do. And he brings in one of his, like, supporters, like, oh, I knew you were still alive, Captain Lorca. And he's like, I got this basically like a hypo spray thing of like some weird DNA.
Virus that is not compatible with ours at all.
And it's going to kill him.
Yeah.
I want you to fall on your knees and beg me forgiveness for what you did to my sister. And then Lorca's like, well, how could he possibly know her name?
No.
He can't. So he's like, puff. You know, there was plenty of women. I can't remember all of them. And he's thinking for a second, just let him go. Don't kill this guy. And then he's like, if you don't do it, I'm going to kill this guy. Get on your knees, say my sister's name, whatever. And then he doesn't say the sister's name, and he puts that DNA in the guy, and the guy like bursts into flames.
Oh, he dies in like seconds.
Yeah, like it's like he was hit with like a Vulcan disruptor.
Yeah.
Like his body gets all melted and burned. I'm assuming he was in immense pain.
Oh, yeah.
There's a funny joke in The Simpsons. It's like his death. If you hear that helicopter, I do apologize. It's there. I can't help it. But he says, oh, his death only lasts a second, but the pain was so intense it felt like 100 lifetimes.
Oh,
just in that 1 second.
That's funny.
It's so horrible just to think about that.
Yeah,
so we go back to Discovery, and then they're in the sick bay, and they have guns on her because, like, okay, we don't want to.
But they only have phasers. They don't have like the rifles.
Yeah, I know. Remember the rifles from the first episode?
We never see them
and
again.
The black badges and
Yeah.
stuff? Never again.
No.
Weird. So they're like, hey, try any funny stuff, we're going to kill you. She's on the table, and I guess she has, like, these magic laser fingers. I don't know. It's an operating thing. And she goes into his brain and starts, operating on him and saying, she's, like, saying these clean on things, and he's saying clean on things. And then she finishes the operation, and then Lieutenant Tyler starts just speaking English.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, I'm like, what did she do?
But she transfers content to him, but then no, she starts screaming. That's what Klingons do
when they
die.
Someone dies. So did she kill off Volk?
Probably.
So he's truly dead now?
Yeah.
Because her scream, but again, in the very beginning of this series, her special power was like the Queen of Lies. So is she deceiving everyone again?
Maybe.
I don't know. I would still keep Lieutenant Tyler locked up.
You have to.
I wouldn't. We don't know. That storyline ends in this episode, so we don't know what happens after that.
Especially in this universe, we can't get you any help. So there's no Federation hospital that can help you.
We keep you locked up. We keep her locked up. As soon as we get back to the Federation, then we'll figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Don't let Lieutenant Tyler walk about the ship. We can't do that.
You can't have it. Because what if she just got it away for a while and it comes back at a certain moment or a word or something,
So this is another time where they could have said something technological, something sciencey. Oh, I'm going to remap his brainwaves. Nothing. No one says anything. She goes in there, spirit fingers, he's fine. What happened?
I know, right?
Come on, give us a little technobabble. Give us some of that Trek, And this is the times where, like in the last episode, we got it with Tilly. This episode, there's none of it. None of it.
Yeah, why did they take it away? It was so good last episode. I don't get it.
So we jump back to Paul, and he's with his husband sitting in the bed, and he's like, he wants to stay with him, and then, his husband's like, no, you got to get out of here. You got to save yourself. And then he's like, no. And then he's like trying to make it like how it used to be. Yeah. Oh, play that opera song I hate, but you love it. And then, let's go brush your teeth.
And then the other Terran Paul's trying to knock in. What are you doing?
Hey,
we gotta go.
What are you doing in there? Get out of the bathroom. What are you doing?
I know, I need my time.
I'm not doing anything, Mom. And then it's so
45 minutes.
You've been in there for 40 minutes. So he's in there talking to him, and can someone explain to me, his husband, what is he? His memory? Is it really him? Is it like his consciousness?
I don't know.
Is this some astral projection? What's going on? Because
or maybe that's just the best memories he remembers of him. I don't know.
But here's the thing, because his husband, is it a reflection of what he thinks his husband would say? Or is it really him? Is it, was the other Paul manipulating him?
See,
because
this is
he
what
knew
we
things.
want to know. Yeah, this is what I'm kind of saying. We don't know. Maybe because he's also married to that guy, so he knows how to, and his version of it. I don't know.
It's weird because he's like, he's like, I want to stay here forever, and then it's like basically kind of resetting up the way things used to be. But he's like, telling him, and he's explaining to him that it's never going to be the same again. I'm gone. Like if you get out of this coma, I'm dead. But that just goes back to the same thing, because then he tells him like, oh, I remember holding you. I saw Lieutenant Tyler kill you, but I thought it was a dream, but it was really happening.
So maybe that's why he knew, because he saw it, and he thought it was a dream, and he actually saw it happen.
Yeah, it actually really saw it happen. Yeah. But that doesn't explain, because then he's like, oh, there's the corruption here. He gets back to that, talking about the corruption. He's saying that the other Paul's the reason why there's corruption here.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to do stuff with the highways and everything, and it was messing up. And he's like, oh, he'll get sucker to, oh, he deserves it. How would he know that? How would his husband in that world know that the other Paul was
unless
bad.
it's his suspicions.
Yeah, unless, but within the first 2 minutes of meeting him,
I don't think he would know. I don't think he knows nothing.
that's
about
why
the
I
Terran
kind of
Empire.
think that maybe that Paul created that to help, because he knew that would help maybe pull him out. And
Yeah,
there's-
to do it a different way. Like, I'll let him do it and pretend I'm trying to help him, but then it's his husband that's helping him.
But here's the thing, though. This is where, again, the show gets a little screwy with the way that it works. And he's like, oh, you can get out of dudes, open your eyes. And it's like, oh, are you kidding me? And it actually works.
Yeah.
He literally just focus on the music and find your way out. I'm like, what?
And the funny thing is, he didn't wake up first, it was the other Paul that woke up. He goes, oh my goodness, it actually worked.
Yeah, because you see the eyes open and you see him looking around and you're like, whoa, that uniform's not right.
Yeah.
Then you see he walks by and you see the Terran thing. Like, he's on the palace ship. But I guess that palace ship is so huge.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dave, you're telling me he had no one else working on this, like you said? Nobody?
No one came to check on him?
Nobody?
Room service, anything? Come on.
I know, right?
So he runs out of there. He's like, oh, he did it. He runs out of there. Then the other Paul wakes up, our Paul, the good one. And Tilly's like, oh my goodness, you're awake. Oh, and you're walking. And he's just, because he's just leaving the room. And Tilly's like all nervous, like, oh, we need to tell Suru, got to tell somebody. And he's like, she's like, oh, a lot of things have happened since you've been out. He's like, yeah, I know. Hugh's dead. But you have to come with me now. He's walking with her, and you see that they go to the area where all the spores, their little mushroom forest, and it's all dead.
And he goes, this isn't good. He's
It's like, oh, we're basically setting up saying they can't use the spore drive to jump back.
No.
Unless they come up with something. But for now, they don't have any fuel.
No.
Another spore
unless they
that
find another spore sentient being.
or something similar to make the same kind of reaction.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get back.
So that goes, the thing comes back to when Giorgio wanted the schematics.
Yeah.
Well, even if she has the schematics, if those things don't exist in this universe, this doesn't mean anything.
No, it means nothing.
So,
But you still don't want to give them any technology that's could work.
So that's where they're at on the Discovery. Paul's awake again, but he's aware of everything, and the little mushroom spore forest thing is basically dead.
Gone, yeah.
Unless maybe find a little bit that's still alive and they can...
Maybe they will, we don't know.
Yeah,
But right now it's dead.
So we get Mike and Giorgio are talking, and you kind of figure out, she's like, oh, when I adopted you, but I wasn't enough, and then like Lorca was her right-hand man. And he became like a father to you. Then it became something more.
It's like, oh, that's gross. Ew.
It's like Lorca pulled a Woody Allen. He raised her, then became her like lover. Gross. And then he's like, oh, he kept saying it was destiny and all that. And she's flashing back to when Lorca was saying things like that. And everything comes together. This Lorca was always from the Terran universe.
Yeah, because now it explains everything the way he was acting.
The way that he kept thinking Michael's so special because he was tapping that. Oh, Lorca, you pervert!
Exactly.
He's such a pervert. He went to another reality.
That's why now it makes it more disgusting. Every time she was going away mission, she's like, well, you can't go because he's protecting.
That was his. Yeah, that was his. His sex partner. It's so. Yeah. You go back and watch those earlier episodes now. It's even more horrible.
Yeah, it's real creepy. Basically, at this point, I'm surprised they didn't catch him at Nick's game. It's like, what are you outlining with him?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so gross.
Terrible.
Lorca is the worst captain in Trek history.
Yeah, and they actually had a poll before this who was the best captain. If anyone voted for Lorca, you get rescinded from Star Trek card.
You get the chance to unvote for him.
Oh, my goodness.
He's Terran. He kills his way to get to the top. He married his daughter, basically. Went across universe just to get at her again. To get at that.
That's it. So obviously he must have died in the Terran universe, I'm assuming, is why would he do all this?
It's so sick because in his mind, did he think this Michael Burnham from the other universe would go along with this? That she would be
not that kind of person. She was raised on Vulcan. She would never be like that.
And I'm assuming that Captain Lorca has a lot of people that are so loyal to him on that ship.
Yeah, I'm worried. We're there on Discovery.
Yeah.
We don't even know.
Did he bring some people? How did he get over to our world? How?
I want to see episodes that shows this. I want to see it. I have to see it. Even if it's only 5-10 minutes long, I have to see it.
So, some of you guys in the comments were saying that Lorca's from the Terran universe. You're right.
You're right.
We had our suspicions from the very beginning that he didn't seem right. Yeah. He didn't fit into the Trek universe, and now we know why.
See, but that explains it now. I'm kind of dismayed. I wish it was just the Terran captain because he was trying to get spore technology, and he figured maybe they might have it. And
he wanted Michael. That's all he wanted.
But I wanted Michael. It just makes it so gross. It just... And maybe he wants to be emperor. I don't know what his angle is. Maybe he's trying to angle that.
Have you ever wanted it so bad that you went to a parallel universe to get it? My goodness, this Lorca.
You're gone. I gotta go. Another universe to get you, baby. No, no. It's also
Jeez.
terrible. It's also thinking about it. He could have saved that man's life now, and he didn't save him.
Yeah, because then after all that confirmation, then he's like, just my sister's name. Like he ends up fighting that guy that was torturing him, and he's like, oh, I forget what he said her name was. Oh, she was pretty good. I liked her, but something better came along, and that was Michael Burnham.
And he said the name after because he pretends he dies. Oh, I don't want you dying. He goes in there, and then he ends up getting in
because he had those pain reducers.
Yeah.
Remember, she gave him that. Mm-hmm. So Lorca is a horrible piece of garbage, and I want to see him lose.
And then she even tells the Empress, he goes, That's your Lorca.
Yeah,
you got to get rid of this guy. You got to stop him.
So but I don't know how many more episodes do we have.
I think until February 15th, so about 4 more.
Yeah, so 4 more episodes, or so. I don't remember how many more, but this episode was also shorter than most episodes.
Only 37 minutes.
Yeah,
and also, like I was saying earlier, you imagine all this jumping in this episode. Only 37 minutes.
Yeah, it was all over the place. Why? I wish they would just stick to one storyline for a while. Then back to the Discovery. Okay, now back to
it jumps too much all over the place.
So where we stand now, Paul's back. Can't use the spore drive because all the spores are basically dead. They still have some of those canisters, so maybe they'll have enough to do one last jump.
Maybe.
We have confirmation that Lorca was always the Terran Universe Lorca. Somehow got to our universe and kept his as captain. Here's the thing: how long has he been in the Prime Universe?
Here's my.
Because remember, he talked about that big battle and he lost all his men, and like that whole thing was that the evil Lorca the whole time from that point on.
Well, he must have went the way he must have figured a way to inoculate himself to go through the way the Defiant did the first time.
Something must have happened
where he did that, and he found out like, oh, I'm a captain in this universe, and I can. And I don't know. He might even kill the world Captain Lorca. We don't even know if he's alive or dead.
It's so odd. Like I want to know when the jump took place because this Lorca, from what we know, Lorca was going around fighting. Getting that ship for the Discovery. Remember, he lost his command, and other people brought it up too. When he was with the Admiral lady, she's like, "You're not this. You're different now."
Yeah.
We always thought it was PTSD. It wasn't. It was the fact that he literally wasn't.
Yeah.
The Lorca that she remembers.
So that explains so much.
And
then the fact the way Taylor acted the way explains it because he was really a Klingon or a hybrid Klingon thing. So that explains a lot. So now. They explain Zero acting wimpy, but everyone else explains it a lot.
So we're in a weird spot right now. Like in the beginning of this, now that we talked it through it, I would have to say I don't like the episode because I don't like the fact that Lorca was just like in love with.
Why did it have to
Burnham.
be that? Why couldn't it be just after the spore drive? Why can't something like that?
No, it had to be like a sex thing.
Yeah.
And he thought Michael Burnham would be so into it that she'd wanted.
Would it make more sense when he's on the Discovery getting schematics for the spore drive as opposed to doing this and giving it to their Paul?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make more sense than...
A sex thing?
Sex thing? Why? Again, always one big element brings a series episode down. Every time. This is probably a 5-something?
Yeah, it's just so weird. Everything...
The effects are amazing.
Everything that happened, like the setup of what's going on, I like. I just don't like the characters. I never liked Lorca. Go back to all our early reviews. I never liked Lorca.
And I'm just now...
He's despicable.
Yeah.
He's horrible. Nasty, disgusting man.
I mean, this is what he thinks is going to happen. Burnham's going to go into your arms and accept you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So I'm assuming that he's going to try to do another coup, but they need the help. They got to find out about the Defiant and all that stuff. So there's some stuff that needs to be worked out. We don't know what's happening with Lieutenant Tyler.
I guarantee Lorca knows everything that happens to the Defiant. I guarantee he does.
Yeah.
I guarantee he does. And the fact you trapped all these people from the Federations in this world just to get Michael, it's just disturbing.
Because it's just you're so special and everything. So every time he said that, it was nasty. You nasty man. You just
we thought maybe there was some kind of map in his mind, her mind that Sarah gave to her. No, it wasn't that.
Nothing. Literally, he just wanted to get at it.
Yeah.
That's it. Now that is a Trek storyline if I've ever heard one. Guy was so horny he went to a parallel universe to get at it. No, thank you. That is awful.
That sounds like an awful fanfic.
I've read fanfics with better ideas than that. Oh my goodness. But that's going to wrap up this episode overall. Yeah. I got to say I don't like it.
I think it's probably worse than some of the episodes of the first season.
Because the implications of Lorca being so
makes the first season even worse. It makes it even worse now. Because the all thing he said
everything he did.
That's why he got her out of prison. I was like, why is he doing that? He can't do
But
that.
like, but did he really want to win the war against the Klingons? Did he even care? I don't think he even cared.
I think he cared because he knows in that universe the Klingons are conquered, so he's going back to his universe.
Oh, you brought up a really funny point. We all this stuff like that. That Lorca, did his family really make fortune cookies?
Yeah,
did
they back then 100 years ago. That's the only question I want to know, Lorca. Did they in your universe?
In their universe, they still made fortune cookies. Damn it, that's what they did.
Because it's funny because I don't want to get off a tangent here. The Empire's been around for 1,000 years, even in Archer's time. So were there even nation states? Or were they just under one empire at that point?
It's so odd. And I'm just trying to think of other things that happened that were strange to me. I thought her sword looked cool, the one she was going to execute her with.
Kind of cool.
And they had the capes and stuff, very
kind of neat. Kind of neat.
It's just, I don't know, the nastiness in my mouth of like raising a daughter to basically have sex with is so disgusting and so despicable to me.
Why?
Gross.
Why even introduce that? Why can't you just see her as a daughter? Like, I want you to be my daughter again and join me in this rebellion.
You're my lover.
Gosh, guys, it's gross.
And it's funny. You can even see it in Michael's face when she starts to thinking back to all the things that she kept saying. Oh, it's our destiny. Oh, we're intertwined and all that.
And she's just saying, no, we're not. That's not destiny at all. It's like,
I bet you that pissed them off too. Like when she wasn't really on your side in the regular universe. Why would you think it would happen in the Terran?
Well, my thinking is, do you think you're going to force her? You're going to kill the Empress, take over. You're going to force her to join you? No.
And she's not going to kill you in your sleep or whatever?
You're crazy. There's
crazy.
no way.
He's completely out of his mind.
Insane.
So what do you think the Terran Paul's going to do? Go tell the Empress about this? Or keep it to himself?
But again, he is self in the normal universe. He kept things to himself. Is he going to be like that in this universe?
But it's his game though, because now we have Georgios fighting Lorca. I'm assuming he's gonna try to do like his grand design, whatever, to take over.
Yeah.
What about Paul? What's he gonna do?
I don't know.
It's strange. Like I really would like to see how all these pieces are gonna fall together.
Because if he becomes emperor, he's never gonna leave Michael alone. He'll use all the resources to go after her, even if she goes in the normal universe. So she's gonna have to kill him. I don't see a way out of this.
They didn't explain it very well, and I remember you brought it up too. Exactly what happened. So Lorca was supposed to be killed. Michael went after to get him, and then Terran universe Michael goes to go get him. But they were really working together the whole time.
I think she said, Giorgio, the Emperor said, "Yeah, you guys are working together.
They come get me.
Get me, and that's probably what it was."
And then she plotted to kill both of them.
I want to see how Michael Burnham died in that universe.
Oh, that's probably a whole episode. I bet you do an episode where it's a flashback of the Terran.
Yeah, world. I want to see that. And I want to see what happened to the real Malcolm Burnham if he's still alive. Maybe we could get a restart, and he's actually a good person.
Because, like I said in the very beginning of the review, when Lorca's like, "Oh, the plans have to be on the Imperial ship, whatever." Like, why in the world would he even know that?
No,
it makes no sense. And now it does make perfect sense, but at that moment, it made no sense.
Well, here's the problem, though. Once that's why also he took Taylor, because he knew there was something.
Yeah, so I wonder if he knew Taylor's ploy the whole time.
Maybe he knew that there was something right with him. I guarantee maybe he knew he was a little... Because why make him head of security? I mean, that was just like out of the blue.
Yeah, just like literally a guy got out of a POW camp. He's going to be my...
Yeah, because he wanted him to be messed up. And she wanted Michael to be alone, and now she is. And now at that point, when they were already on there, he kind of had her where he wanted her. Because if everything fell apart, because, she's from the Prime Universe.
Here's another funny thing. I remember we brought up what was... the Klingons' end game with Vox becoming...
Oh, yeah, the Prime Universe, yeah.
So they threw him in that gulag to be tortured and beat up because they knew that he would be rescued by a Federation vessel, and that Federation vessel so happened to be the Discovery.
I'm assuming what they were going to do is that they were going to just let him go amongst humans. Like, I escaped, and he's in a shuttlecraft
and just be on some random ship, and
I'm assuming that's what they were going to do.
And he was in that cell with Mud for a long time.
Yeah.
So, he was enduring all this torture by the off chance that he'd be picked up by the Discovery.
And there's Mud getting mad at him, not realizing he was a Klingon the whole time.
It's so weird. Their plan was stupid. It wasn't very thought out very well.
No, I mean, there's plot holes. There's definitely
That'd be like infiltrating one soldier into one platoon in the middle of somewhere and thinking...
And he's unimportant.
Yeah.
It'd make more sense to get an admiral or something when they got that admiral.
Yeah, the admiral lady.
That would make way more sense. She has way more influence. Not a friggin' lieutenant.
Super odd.
Maybe the other Klingons were after him and that was just a cover. So, that's just a human. Don't worry about him. And they leave him alone. And then he, becomes Klingon again. I don't know what her plan
I wonder. So what's going to happen with Natalia, you think? You think he's going to stay human? Or, I mean, you have to...
But she's the great deceiver.
Yeah, that was a thing too. I remember they made it very clear in the first episodes that you work from the shadows and you're the queen of lies or whatever. I don't know exactly how they worded it.
Yeah.
So is this still one giant setup?
I just better hope that they don't have Taylor walking around the ship. That better not happen.
He needs to be under constant surveillance until they can get back to the Prime Universe.
Yeah, Universe, and like I said, and maybe get him some help. Until then, he's
go to some Vulcan science thing and they can scan your brain and figure out what's going on here.
Exactly.
Because if they just took his consciousness, did they kill the real Lieutenant Tyler? Or is he in a vegetable state somewhere? I'm pretty sure they would just discard his body, right? So there's a lot of implications from this episode.
But the problem is he knows Discovery Inside Out. He'll know where to find him.
Yeah.
He knows the ship. He knows the codes. He knows everything.
Yeah, he has all the clearances.
Everything. So they're messed up.
Oh, Michael needs to get a message to Suru saying, clear Captain Lieutenant.
Well, we don't know if she can or not.
But remember when this whole jump thing happened, he did that little thing on the data pad? Yeah, I bet you has secret subroutines throughout the whole entire ship.
Yep.
Even if they remove his command, he can probably do something to get it right
I guarantee it will be like the episode when Cisco's got to Eddington and he left all those booby traps in the Defiant. That's what's going to happen.
There's going to be some stuff going down.
Again, these are interesting things, but they get bogged down.
I don't like the characters.
And the creepiness of the whole relationship.
So creepy. You nasty, perverted, nasty man. I do not like you. Lorca is my least favorite character in all Trek of all time.
Oh, yeah. My goodness. Forget captains of all time.
Yeah, just characters in general.
I mean, when he's already there with the villains, that already tells you something about the man. When he's already worse than Khan, already worse than...
He's like with a Gold Dukat and, just nasty men. Like, what's wrong?
Yeah, he's probably as bad as Gold Dukat. Yeah. He really is. Jeez.
I gotta get some, so I gotta go to another universe.
The fact that he went in that torture machine knowing what it would do to him the first time around without using the parry
to get at her.
To get at her. You are sick. You are a sick person. You think she's going to say, okay, I want to go to you now. What do you think's going to happen?
Because he believes in that destiny crap. Oh, you'll fall in love with me because of the destiny of it.
I'm hoping somehow the real Lorca shows up and he's stuck there and
he's a good person.
He's a good person and he kills that piece of crap and then he goes back to the Prime Universes. That's just, ugh.
It's just one of those things where this explains why the spore drive, because if the spore stuff dies off, maybe they get back and the spore drive's all gone and they realize, guys, we can't do this, and they get rid of all of it, and that's why there is no spore jumping in any other Trek
I'm kind of hoping
series.
that one guy in the comment section, or person I should say, because I don't know the guy, but said that they go in the far future. That would be cool.
Something needs to happen. Another positive, I like the way Suru was thinking. Oh, I'll force her hand.
See, that's a Star Trek thing. Yeah, that's a Star Trek thing.
And I like Suru. Suru jumped up leaps and bounds in this episode, and Lorca dug so deep. At least in Lieutenant Tyler Volk's mind, he's doing it for his empire, and he's trying to I can understand that a little bit, even though it's misguided. I understand it. He's literally doing it to get some booty. What? Sacrifice all these lives. So he can have his girlfriend back.
And then the Cohen is afterwards to tell the guy, well, I found someone better. Like, what's wrong with you? That's your brother. You're disgusting.
Yeah, because he was mad because his sister died because of him and everything. So we have some there's some stuff, some more explaining I would like to see.
But I'd say this Lorca besides little hints here and there, he disguised pretty well. I guess Spock is not totally right saying savages can act like civilized men when they can't.
He did it.
He did for a long time.
If they're horny enough.
Yeah, I guess. When it's in their heart. No?
Yeah, it's ingrained in his soul. That's so nasty. I'm sorry if I harp on it.
I mean, he threw a little hints, but I'm so glad he make a move with her on the Discovery.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know. Well,
I wonder how he felt about Lieutenant Tyler, all over his girl.
I think he did not care because he knew he was.
In the end, I'd get her.
I'll get her. He's so sick.
Oh, it's so sick.
That makes it worse. I'm just making it worse every minute.
Every time I think about this, it's getting worse and worse and worse. So I gotta wrap this up before. I don't know. Lorca's a nasty man. Oh my goodness.
He's not even good enough. Forget cleaning the toilets of Picard. He's not even good enough to be on the ship at all. Of the Enterprise or the Space Nine.
I got nothing else to say.
Oh, I think we said
everything is said. The chapter of Lorca. I hope he gets it in the end. He gets killed. He gets, and I want Michael to actually kill him. Oh, here you go. This is what you wanted. Boom.
I would like to see the real Lorca kill him. That would be cool.
That'd be cool, too.
Prime Universe. And also, please, I want to see an episode. I know I said it before. See what they're doing if they survive the jump.
Yeah, the Terran Discovery in that world.
I want to see what they're doing. I would actually just see a little bit of it if we can.
So that's going to wrap it up. I've been your host, Crimson Sen.
N15 PCA.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, sub, and share. Also, for the most up-to-date information about the podcast, follow us on Twitter at C15 Podcast.